Miseducation will give you half truth and half information and tell you that's all you need. So you go out thinking you are okay, not knowing you are deficient. You know, many times it only takes you to cross the border into a more civilized and more developed society to realize that you are backward. Sometimes you are just a local champion, thinking that you are okay. Just think about it. 4 years out of your life, plus ASU and ASUP, plus all kinds of strike. Think about it. 5 years out of your life, 6 years out of your life. Do you know what that means? For 5 years, 4 years, 6 years to be taken away from your life, and you're on pause, waiting for a certificate that will now help you to begin to earn when you can begin to earn from day one. How many first class people do we have roaming the streets that have first class roaming the streets and they can't even pay for first floor building? First class. Why? Because they were told, it's the assembly line, they were told, oh, go to school, get good grades. Do you know how many times our parents were telling us, all I owe you is education, all I owe you is education? There's nothing wrong in education, but let it be relevant education. Many certificates that cannot produce anything.
Get ready to be blessed by this powerful teaching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more inspiring messages. Now, let's get started.
And today, we want to now begin to look into some of the things that I consider to be a part of the miseducation. We want to begin by looking at the characteristics of expired education, which I consider to be miseducation. And I want you to just read with me. All these things are from the School of Money book. I have an entire module in the School of Money book on the 7-star education. And let's look at them one after the other and then discuss them and see how far we can go today by the Spirit of God. Number one, any education that teaches you outdated, useless, and irrelevant topics from outdated and old textbook is old school education. Any education that teaches you outdated, useless, and irrelevant topics from outdated and old textbook is old school education. Now, when we were growing up, they told us that there were, 9 planets? That they told us that we have 9 planets. And then, after a while, I started reading, they say, oh, I don't want 9 planets, oh, that they have now discovered many other planets. Then again, they say, oh, that one of the planets that used to be existing doesn't exist anymore. You just realize that the way, as you move on through life, a lot of things that you consider to be true become untrue over time. Now, question, what of the textbook that people were using, that they are still using now, teaching them something that does not exist anymore? Do you know that there are drugs that are being prescribed for people in Nigerian hospital that the world has stopped using like 5-7 years ago? Now, I'm telling you, people go to what you call specialist hospital in Nigeria. They prescribe drugs for them. By the time you just Google the drugs and Google details about it, they say it causes cancer. They have banned it in 72 countries. And then you are like, Nigeria is still giving it to people. Why? Because you cannot give what you don't have. If you know better, you do better. You can't do beyond your knowledge. So number one, any education. So anytime you are going to school, your children are going to school, and they are telling them, buy this textbook, buy that textbook. Parents, check the textbook. Look at the information in the textbook and ask yourself, these things they are teaching them, is irrelevant? When they are giving you topics, they are giving you textbook, check through it. The examples they are giving is of dead people. Examples they are giving is of things that does not exist anymore. And then you are expecting to prepare people for a future that they are not aware exists. Why is it that people are not dreaming for a new career? Why are people still dreaming of old careers? When those careers are already on the way out, when those careers are already becoming extinct, there are new career paths that have come up in the last 10 years. And even parents don't know, talk less of helping their children to be able to plug into it. Number two, any education that majors or minor, that is things that are not relevant to your life, and minors or major, things that are relevant to your life, is old school education. So when you are going to school, and instead of them focusing on what is relevant, they are focusing on what is not relevant to your life. At the end of the day, you are only wasting time. Because think about it, 4 years out of your life, plus ASU and ASUP, plus all kinds of strike. Think about it, 5 years out of your life, 6 years out of your life. Do you know what that means? For 5 years, 4 years, 6 years, to be taken away from your life, and you're on pause, waiting for a certificate that will now help you to begin to earn, when you can begin to earn from day one. Number three, any education that is geared towards making you job dependent, where all you are motivated with is to get good grades so you can get a good job, is an outdated old school education. So any education where you are going to say, oh, don't worry, no, you guys should just go to school, don't worry, when you get good grades, when you graduate with first class, you're going to get a good job, and you're going to be able to, story. How many first-class people do we have roaming the streets that have first-class roaming the streets and they can't even pay for first-floor building? First class. Why? Because they were told, it's the assembly line, they were told, oh, go to school, get good grades. Do you know how many times our parents were telling us, all I owe you is education, all I owe you is education? There is nothing wrong in education, but let it be relevant education. Let it be relevant education. Because people are going to school now to go and study courses that are no more relevant to the world. And in the Western world, they will still have school loan, student loan. One of the most dangerous debts in the world. Student loan. And for the next 20 years, they're still paying student loan. And they can't even get a job. I have mentees. I still have one of my mentees from one of my mentees in the US that still called me sometime not too long ago, talking about, hey, I want to do this, I want to do that. You know, I still have student loan. I say, since how many years? The loan no the end. Let's move on. Number 4. One of the things you need to understand is that many of our parents joined in propagating the error by encouraging their children only with the need to go to school, get good grades, and then a good job. Many of our parents did not even know that they have become the mouthpiece of colonial masters. And many of them were telling us, all I owe you is education. Many certificates that cannot produce anything. Why? Because most of the things you are looking for, I keep asking you, you are looking for a job. Who is supposed to provide the job? If it's easy, why your grandpapa don't start company? If it's easy to start a business, why did your father not start a business to employ you? You now go to school, they are now telling you, get good grades, go and get a job. From where? From where? It's not the job of the government to create jobs for you. The job of the government is to create an enabling environment for small businesses to thrive, to put infrastructures in place for entrepreneurs to strive, and those now become the employer of labor. Today now, civil service is overbloated with ghost worker and spirit workers and kwashoko worker. And every month, all the governments, different states are crying. You can't pay minimum wage. Instead of them to bring in IT, bring in AI, bring in technology, and eliminate all the bloated ghost worker and kwashoko worker and spirit workers. Next. Any education that emphasizing having one stream of income and defines focus as doing only one thing all your life. Working, running in the rat race, and relying on pension is old school education and is obsolete. Let's break it down. Any education that emphasizes one stream of income is expired education. Go to school, you get a job, you'll be collecting salary, and then you get pension. Expired. Any education that defines focus and you doing only one thing, stay focused, doing only one thing, that's what you call, no. Expired. Any education that tells you, don't worry, they will pay you pension, expired. You know why? I've said it before. Pension is a fraud. You know, some of the statements I make, many of you will not agree. It's not important. Don't agree. I'm not God. But hear the voice of wisdom. Hear the voice of wisdom. Many years ago, we were to start this investment. And I was telling my wife, I said, you know what, this investment, I understand, is a good thing, but you see, this real estate thing, if people understand the power of real estate, we will not try many of these things. Now, all these things, all this investment, you put money here. I say, at the end of the day, inflation will eat it up. Devaluation will eat it up. There's nothing wrong in doing it. You know, I've told you about saving. You still need to do it. But at the end of the day, so I said, okay, you be in charge. So we did year 1, year 2, year 3. By the time they will send the report, you will come and tell me, all the money, look at what climbed on top. I said, that's the way it is. And as the money was added and things were climbing, the money was being devalued. At the end of the day, you just realize that it's better to have an asset that will be appreciating in value. So many of you now, you say you are waiting for pension. You have been collecting your money in pension. Imagine how much your pension is now in dollars and pounds. And you are growing old. No, think about it. So you were thinking that, that's my pension. By the time I finish like this, I will collect 40 million. 40 million to you, when you are starting, looks like one big ball. But by the time you are retiring, that 40 million may not even be able to buy a bag of rice. That's when you realize that it's a fraud. I personally believe, I believe that pension is put in place to help people that don't have financial intelligence to secure their future, so that you will not be a liability to the government. So there's nothing wrong in the pension scheme. But if you have financial intelligence, some people even go and do, they call it voluntary contribution. You carry your money, you are going to contribute inside pension. When you should contribute the money and buy land and buy house and have something that will be bringing cash flow and increasing the value at the same time. I don't understand. I don't. I hope you know that there is no security in social security. Just think about it. So many times, most of what we are doing is because the educational sector has programmed us that way. Let's move on. Any education that propagates the scarcity conspiracy and harass you with, there is not enough to go around though, is old school, expired education. Because there is more than enough to go around. And recession and scarcity is a conspiracy. Recession and scarcity is a conspiracy. Let me ask you a question. All the money in the world, where is it? It's in the world. All the money on earth, where is it? It's on earth. So when they tell you there is no money, Ejo, where did the money go to? Who traveled? Did the money travel? Did the aliens come to carry the money? So when they are telling you scarcity, there is no money, there is not enough to go around. Shh, stop falling for that trap. Every money on earth is on earth. Every money in the world is in the world. If you don't have it, it's somewhere else. So don't let anybody tell you, scarcity, there is not enough to go around. These are all the scams. These are the conspiracy that educational sector and the software they use to program people. Is a central bank has come up with fiscal policy, monetary policy. No be human being there. Is it not human being sitting down at the central bank forming policy? Who taught them policy? Is that not why IMF and World Bank is still manipulating the whole world? Are you people still fall for this trap? And when we tell you, plan your life, take your destiny in your hand, and invest for yourself, you don't want to do it. You go and give money to somebody. Next, any education that promotes poverty as piety and riches as filth is, of course, an expired old school education, because your definition of filthy rich and stinkingly rich may be positive or negative. They now put, they just look for a way to make it. It's filth. It's filth. Filthy rich. They now make you believe that having money is filth. It's filthily rich, stinkingly rich, as if it stinks. No. Don't follow those theories. It's perfume. Let it be fragrancely rich. So when they begin to tell you, just have poverty, godliness, contentment is a great gain, the life of a man consisted not in the abundance of the things that he owns. Nobody is telling you to be arrogant. Nobody is telling you to be covetous. But you need money to make a mark. You need money to make impact. Don't let anybody deceive you. Crying in the private jets is different from crying inside the Marwa. Let's stop deceiving ourselves. What's all this poverty thinking? No money, no life. And poverty is not a virtue in the new school education. So if you want to be all that you need to be, you need to understand all this. Next, any education that encourages you with retirement benefits and teaches you to work, save, and retire on pension is an expired education and is old school education. You don't have to retire at 60 or 65 to create wealth with the new school education. With the new school education, the redefined education we are talking about that I'm trying to unveil to you. You don't need to be 60 to retire, 65. Now they are talking about moving the retirement age to 67 to 70. Why? Because a lot of people thought 65 was very old. It's like the Caleb generation here. When we started, all of us were young. So say elders, 40 years old, you are an elder. 40 years was like, about 40. Then when we became 40, we saw that body day, you are still young. Then we move it to 50. Then when all of us were drawing 50, now we don't cross 50 now. Can you imagine me now, elders follow? Small boy like me. Elders follow. Then before you know, we move out to 50. I say, no, we need to go to 60 now. So elders provoke. Everybody provoke. They say, no, pastor, cannot just be changing. Cannot be changing like that. I say, okay. So before you know it, so think about it. Now I'm in my 50s. I'm very young. I'm very agile. I still have 20, 30 years to go. You could come tell me now so we can begin plan for retirement. As what now? Say what's happening when the presidents are 80 years old. From American president to Ghanaian president to Nigeria, they are all in their 70s, in their 80s. Me, I go can't stop. Even our father, the Lord, Baba Debo is 80 something. He's still carrying grace. So which retirement are we talking about? So what are we saying? Any education that encourages you with retirement benefits, they tell you, don't worry, once you retire, the government will take care of you. All the people who don't retire, what will the government do with them? They have to come and be doing recertification. They have to come and be queuing. There are all kinds of abuse of people that have labored to serve the government and serve the nation. Next, any education that teaches you to rely on the government and look forward to government benefits, social welfare programs and schemes is no doubt an old school education and is obsolete because there is no security in social security anymore. There is no security in social security. And finally, under this category, any education that teaches you to work hard to make money without teaching you the other options of working smart and making money is incomplete and is old school education. So when you look at all these things we have shared, all we are saying is that you are either educated, uneducated, or miseducated. And that miseducation is the problem, because miseducation will give you half truth and half information and tell you that's all you need. So you go out thinking you are okay, not knowing you are deficient. You know, many times it only takes you to cross the border into a more civilized and more developed society to realize that you are backward. Sometimes you are just a local champion, thinking that you are okay, until you realize that I'm more by Johnny Fowl. So you need to understand that many of us have been programmed. We have been, you know, the software that is running our mind is a software that has limited how far we can go. Now, let me give you an example. Think of how your life has changed with the advent of GSM, with the advent of the internet. Think of how your life has changed. Have you forgotten that I keep telling you in this church, before GSM came to Nigeria, in the days of Turaya, in the days of not 90, 090, did I not tell you that all these things that they are calling is something that people in Benin Republic or Canada Rider in Benin Republic or in other country, they have phone? Was I not telling you in this church before GSM came? So imagine if we still don't have GSM by now. Imagine the kind of backwardness you will still be operating in, and you will still think you are okay. That's the same way we are now. The world has moved into cryptocurrency. They are moving to AI. They are moving to fifth industrial revolution. We are still struggling with analog. We still don't have lights. We are still talking network problem. We are still talking road. We are still talking analog television. We are still in old school. For many areas of Nigeria, in the civil service, we are still carrying fires. We are not automating. We are not doing technology. We don't have data. We have BVN. We have NIN. We have all kind. We still don't have national identity. What is wrong with us? We are still backward. We are like 19th century, the 22nd century. So that is what miseducation does. That's why we are saying we need to have a change.